it's only taken us what 70 shows to figure
that out. But Scott, you always say we have to live in the moment. We have to live in the now. We're trying to, but the whole time we're guessing if we're live or not.
Are we live
yet? Are we live yet?
Is it Memorex?
That's the fun
or
part
is it
about it.
TDK?
Yeah.
How do you live in the moment? How do you live in the moment? What you guess if you're live? Am I alive?
2 minutes. 2 minutes before the show starts.
Are we live now? Are we live?
Yeah,
Podcast roulette.
Oh wait, is it? Are we live?
Hey, I'm gonna go
Is
get
it
a
live
refill
or is it
before the show.
Memorex? What did they used to say? Is it live or is it Memorex?
Yeah,
because
live or
the
Memorex.
sound quality was so good you couldn't tell the difference.
That's right. That's right. Oh,
But
God.
Scott, where are you? What did you work on with the Arabian Prince? So before we go in, you guys did art or you did NFTs together?
We went to Dubai together, and we both spoke there, and then we played together. So he mashed a Floyd set together.
Nice.
And we played it as a dance thing.
Okay, cool. Now I know.
He's a great guy. He's an awesome, really smart.
Yeah, this is
We just had
cool
a very
to have
quick
him.
chat with him, and he was very, very cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Very,
Cheers.
Hey, Norwood, isn't it amazing how much those thermos keep the shit cold?
Yeah, man.
It's like different, right? Because I saw that. I mean, I can put that dang thing on my
Scott,
thing for like 8 hours.
Can we talk about the moon?
We could talk about the moon. Yeah, I'm actually doing a thing here in Tulum.
You guys, guess what? Guess what time it is? Are we ready?
We're ready.
All right, here we go. Let's do
There
it.
we go.
All right.
Oh, I like Moss and Norwood color coordination.
The Rock and Talk Show, Beyond Backstage, with your hosts, Norwood Fisher,
Are we live?
Kenny Olson, Scott Page, Stephen Perkins,
Not live.
Sheila Conlon, and David Moss.
And welcome to the Rock and Talk Show, where we are live. And this is our 74th show, the bi-monthly show that dives deep into the entertainment industry, the business of it, the stories and culture around it, and everything in between. I'm the Moss Man. Let me quickly introduce my amazing co-hosts. We've got Sheila Conlon from the Conlon Company over here. We've got Norwood Fisher from Fishbone and Trulio Disgracious in the house. The legendary Kenny Olson, Kid Rock, Twisted Brown Trucker Band, Experience Hendrix. And of course, we've got Scott Page over here with Pink Floyd and Toto and Supertramp. And last but not least, and certainly back with us for the first time in a while, it's amazing, we've got Stephen Perkins from Jane's Addiction, Porno for Pyros. You guys, it's good to see everybody back in the room together. It's been a little bit.
It's good,
Yeah.
It's good, man. Perkins, it was so fun watching you on the road with all those clips that were coming in. Dude, that tour was insane.
Yeah.
Those things, man, it was so rocking. Honestly, God, my eyes would water. I'd be like so happy every time I see those. They were so good. That was like crazy cool tours. Those were big audiences. How big were those audiences?
Posts. You and Mikey were killing it with all the posts that you guys were making. It would make us feel like we were there with you because we've been missing you, but you were killing it.
It was just the perfect experience of like a couple days off here, big show, couple days off over there, another big show, and then we did that for about 3 weeks. You know, it was just
that's like the perfect thing, right? Couple days off, big show, couple days off, big show, perfect. How big were the audiences? They looked like massive.
Yeah, I would say about 8,000 people, 10,000 people every show. And you know, the audience we had, the show started at 4 p.m. We had 3 Australian bands, and we had live wrestling going on between the shows.
Was that the girls doing a double duty there? The ones
we had there was girl on girl wrestling, large men wrestling each other, the Smashing Pumpkins, this cool band. It's called Amel and the Sniffers.
Oh.
And Amy is the singer, and she's a tough girl. She's got a great band. So we made some new friends, and Josh Klinghoffer on guitar was just energized the band. You know,
wow.
It was amazing.
He's so sexy.
Oh yeah, he's a great musician, great guy to hang out with. So you know, here I am back, and now we're gonna write a whole new record. That's what we did. We played those shows, we hung out, we really had some new, like, great new memories to work with together. And now we're gonna go all summer and work on new music.
Wow.
Right on. I'm happy. You know, the cool thing about everything that I saw in your social media was there was a purity and the joy that you exuded when you're doing what you do, my brother. It's beautiful to see. There's lots of reasons why we play rock and roll, but
yeah,
like no one can get it twisted with you. Like you are here to beat the fuck out of drums and loving every moment. It's amazing.
No, you're right, because every time I would see your post, right, it's like big smile on my face. It was like you could just see the joy, and you just like you felt it. That's a really good observation, because it was so pure. So the joy was just there. You could feel it.
Well, Steven's always got the joy going. I can't remember a time where I haven't seen Steven smiling while he's playing. But for me,
but you know what? We always can critique ourselves. But me and Eric even said that, the bass player who's been in and out of my life since I was 16. We can't critique it in the moment. Let's just have a laugh. And then you could get on the bus or in the van and go, well, we could have fixed that. We could have slowed that down. We could have sped that up. You could always go there. But if you don't enjoy it at the moment, like,
right.
That's what we always want.
Wait. The highlight. Wait, Kenny, hang on. The highlight was the streak between Dan and Eric. The bass throwing, the bass toss that seemed to become like the thing each night. Like, is he gonna catch it? Is it gonna be further? And he missed one catch, right, out of the whole run.
Yeah, but Eric was very sneaky on that one. He just kind of tossed it without any warning. But like Fishbone, we've done it from Fishbone and some of the great punk rock bands. You could send your instruments flying, you know, and if you have teamwork, you know, someone will grab that before it hits the ground.
I've seen Chris Dowd. Actually, when we did that show at the House of Blues at NAMM, Chris's first show back with Fishbone, Chris took his sax or what?
Trombone.
Trombone, not a sax. Trombone after the trombone. So, and it was a no look. It was a no look. He didn't, and it was, I think it was literally in the moment. He threw that thing probably 20 feet in the air, straight up behind him. And whoever was working that corner caught it, and that was epic. I'll never forget that one.
Trombones don't work so well when you ding the
yeah.
Exactly.
Well, also on one of the latest Fishbone posts, that one with Angelo going through the crowd.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God,
bloody.
That was insane.
He looked all bloody. Did you get hurt?
No, he wasn't bloody. He's just a living bloody mess, that's all.
Hey guys, I would want to say, may the 4th be with you. Today is May 4th.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we also have to thank last week's guests.
Oh, yes.
We had James and Sullivan Marsters, which was amazing to have them on. What a great show.
Yep.
And Abby Owens, like, she was amazing. She just finished her tour, I think, with Kebmo.
No, I think they're still on it because they're coming. I swear they're going to be up in Napa, or maybe it's already over.
Maybe.
But anyway, no, she was amazing. I think I was texting Scott or someone, she's super hot too, super hot, and an amazing singer. And then also for James, his show is getting huge accolades or whatever on Freebie.
Thanks to us, pretty much.
Thanks to us, yeah, Casa Grande. So yeah, so thanks guys. Thanks James, Sullivan, and Abby. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And tonight we have a great show. I mean, tonight we have a great show, and we have a special musical guest tonight that, you know, we might as well just sort of set people up. We have a one of a kind, not seen anywhere else clip from Mike, Steven's drum tech, with a mixed audio. So it's actually like pretty good audio as well. At the end of the night, Steven.
Yeah. You're getting my in-ears. You know how musicians will have in-ear monitors in their head, or they'll have wedges on the ground, but it's a mix of your own and your own liking. So what you hear is my mix, and my drum tech mic is right above my hi-hat. So you're getting the view that I get, which is a lot of fun because, you know, the guys come and go and they give me they rock out with me for a minute and they go back to the front of the stage. But it's exciting. It's the last show of the tour. It's the song 3 Days, and there's a couple clips we want to show you. So it's kind of a bittersweet to watch it because it just happened a few days ago and I already miss it. But we can watch it and enjoy it together.
And that'll be our special musical guest.
In Sense Around.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so
tonight
we go on, look at this
exclusive footage.
And Scott, you're in Tulum. You're in Tulum. Like, what's going on?
See this place.
It's dark.
Oh my gosh, it's beautiful.
Oh, unbelievable. We're going to be doing some gigs here. I've already been talking to these guys. It's unbelievable. If you could see, these are like tree houses. Like this place, it's like gorgeous. I mean, it's just incredible.
And your camera's on shrooms. I said your phone's on shrooms.
Really,
we're getting the brilliance of it all.
I mean, that's a gorgeous hotel room.
Oh no, dude, this place is like, they're like tree houses. They're all up on like stilts, and there are these things. They're all over, and he's building this. I've never seen a place like this.
Are you near the ruins? Are you kind of like right where the ruins are?
I don't think we're far from there, but we're out in the jungle. I mean, it's just trees, and there's freaking giant lizards running around.
Well, I hope Wayne went with you. Was Wayne with you?
No. Out here doing the thing.
Dang.
You and the lizards.
Me and the lizards.
And Norwood, you've been out a little bit jamming with Fishbone.
I missed the last one because we were doing a 420 show in Virginia Beach, it was epic. It was like
just before the hurricane or whatever, the tornado.
Yeah, we just started that one. Yeah. Did an awesome East Coast run, and you know, it was super satisfying, and people coming out, and you know, we got new song, and when people come and they're singing the lyrics, singing along with new material, it's nothing feels better than that, right? Except for at the end of an hour and a half, 2 hour show, and people dance harder than they danced in the middle.
Yeah, right.
That's the, and
well, I'm excited. I'm excited to see Fishbone and Les Claypool later on this summer. That's going to be amazing. And then, of course, George Clinton.
Yeah. But Les, me and Les had a good little text thread going, and he's like, there'll be lots of jamming going on. So
when does that start?
In about 2 weeks.
All right. Well, we need to get Les on as our next guest. There's the invite right there. Before the tour starts, let's get Les.
Absolutely.
Gotta get Les on the show.
So
with him, less is always more.
Exactly. Where's the
you gotta turn around.
But you know what? If you think about Fishbone, how many people have danced over the years to your shows, your songs? That's got to be such a great accomplishment to feel like, especially as part of the rhythm section that lays it all down on the highway.
When you see the bodies moving, and you know, like, I mean, we talked about it, like the Jane's Addiction effect on the dance floor was unique. It was completely unique. It was the sexiest thing I ever seen. And the physical thing, the one thing about like that really surprises me is at this stage of the game, somebody coming up like, yeah, me and my wife, we made babies to your music. I'm like, really?
Damn.
I'm like Marvin Gaye, I get. Al Green, I get.
Right.
I get.
Hey man, party at Ground Zero, fucking A, right?
Fishbone, baby.
Hey, listen, Scotty, why don't you introduce our guest tonight?
Ooh, all right. I love doing this. So I had the pleasure of going to Dubai and speaking at the GITEX, the big conference there. And I got to go over with this next guy, Mr. OG Arabian Prince. We had a great time. Not only is he one of the great, one of the founding members of N.W.A. He's also a very solid business guy, incredible blockchain expert, my brother from another alien over there. And I'm so happy to be able to introduce Brother Arabian. We had so much fun, first of all, in Dubai. And he's got incredible stories, an incredible speaker. And we were lucky. We both got interviewed together during this really cool event. And I got to learn a bunch about him, and now I get to hang out with him. And we're going to Kentucky. We're going to be talking there together. We're like a little tag team now, so I'm very excited. And Mr. Prince, what up, baby?
Hey, I just want to let y'all know Scott makes me look cool. That's all I got. I hang around.
Dude, you look cool. You look cool. Period. You don't need Scott to look cool. You're good.
Yeah.
No, Scott has that effect. He does it for all of us.
Yeah. Your accomplishments through the years have already made you very cool. So yeah.
Yes, welcome to the Rock and Talk Show.
Yes.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
And we were just talking about you guys before on the off the air, man. And Norm we were just talking about what an impact on the music business that you guys had. I mean, it was such a major freaking turn of events in the music business when you guys came out.
Yeah, man. What year were you born?
1965.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, like
one year after me.
You and Norwood and then me and Perkins are the same age too. That era was so amazing with all the stuff that we all got to be part of. Was just wow.
Well, let's go right back to that. Let's go to the beginning. Let's just start with N.W.A. Like, you grew up in Compton, and you guys talk about how that all sort of, that period, which is such a crazy period of time in South LA. How did that all come together?
Yeah, it was, it's crazy because we were all DJs in Compton. I was a DJ. Dre was a DJ, Yella was a DJ, my boy Egyptian Lover, Unknown DJ. We were all DJs. And that's how we was making lunch money. Like, honestly, like I DJ'd so I could have lunch money at school. And we just started hanging out and got, names at the schools. I had a little club called The Cave when I was like 16 years old. And all the kids used to come out to my club. And it was, just that young entrepreneurship thing. And then, Dre hit me up and it's like, man, we're doing skating rinks. Like, what? We can make money at skating rinks? So we started DJing skating rinks. And that was the beginning of it. But, when we started bringing in Lonzo from the World Class Wrecking Crew, with Dre and Yella were a part of at the time, they started bringing in East Coast rappers to the skating rinks. And we were watching these rappers and we're like, we could do that. Like, honestly, like that's all they did. Like, that's easy. So literally we just all started making records, man. And eventually one day, I remember the day I was in the car with Dre, we were going to Venice Beach, and he was like, man, I bumped into this guy named Eazy-E, in the hood. And he said he could help us like make records because we were all working for other people at the time. I was producing Bobby Jimmy and the Critters and all these other West Coast rap stuff and doing my own music under Arabian Prince. Dre was with the World Class Wrecking Crew. And, we were making a little money here and there. We weren't really making money like we should have been making because we didn't know much about publishing and writers and all of that kind of stuff. We were just kind of works for hire. And yeah, he's like, man, I met this cat Eazy-E. And I was like, Eazy-E, ain't that like the neighborhood pharmaceutical technician? Like, I know that guy. Hey, don't he like deliver? He's like delivery, right? Like CVS delivery. I'm like, oh yeah. He's like, yeah, man, he got some money. You know, he wants to do some stuff. So we really just got together with him and brought Ice Cube and MC Ren and Yella, and we all got together, man, and just started N.W.A. And really quick, I gotta give a shout out because I see him over in the chat. Y'all don't know who's in the chat. Donovan Dirt Biker Smith, who actually owned Audio Achievement, which was the recording studio that we did all of the N.W.A. Matter of fact, probably 70 or 80% of all the West Coast rap came out of his studio. He's the first guy that even showed us how to like work a board and what an EQ was and how to cut tape. So I got to give my boy Donovan a shout out. We've been together from 1985 until now. So shout out.
Amazing.
Yeah, much love.
Yeah, that's
go ahead, Norwood.
Yeah, no, that time was that period of time was amazing in LA, and I went to see Eazy-E and N.W.A. at World on Wheels.
Yep.
Me and Dirty Walt was in that audience.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was the scene in the movie that was at World on Wheels. Yeah. And when we walked outside and people were shooting at us.
Let's talk about the movie. Like from your perspective, obviously they didn't sort of cover your role in the movie, but what's your thoughts on the movie? Like, was it accurate? Was it?
It was an amazing film, man. I mean, it's just be blessed to be, you know, somebody thinking about N.W.A. and showing what happened in Compton. I would say it's about 20-30% accurate, maybe 40. You know, it's a movie. You gotta embellish some things. I was like, there were some scenes where, you know, N.W.A. was running around with assault rifles and stuff. I'm like, we couldn't even get off an airplane with a sharpened pencil. I kid you not. There was like mounted police waiting in the airport when we got there. So, you know, they got to make it a little bit more rough and tough than it actually was. I mean, it was some crazy stuff going. Matter of fact, most of the crazy stuff they couldn't put in the movie. Let's just put it like that.
Right.
Okay.
Better left unsaid.
Yeah.
But is that
when you figured out, like Donald, like you said earlier, the money you can make doing it, and then you saw the East Coast guys and you saw the blueprint, that's what they're doing. We can do that. And then, you know, all these moments when you grow, those moments of growth, when you're one level and the next day you're another level, just by a quick lesson in the business. And I've on what you've said in the last 5 minutes, you took these lessons and you keep on using as a step, you know, and you move forward, you move never sideways, always upwards, you know. And that's what I think sometimes musicians are obsessed with technique. They sit in their room, they don't realize how to move up and not sideways, because we love our instrument. I'll sit and play drums all night and never think about, you know, anything but the drum set. But sometimes that's not good, because you got to know how to use those opportunities and those teaching moments, you know. And being surrounded by great people that teach you, like Scott, like you said, what you met when you met Scott, the depth of Scott Page and how many levels he grew up in, what year, the 50s, and he was already playing with famous people in the 60s and in the 50s with his dad. What kind of advice do you give someone young or old, but someone who's like looking to get into the business, because they're creative, but the business is so complicated and it's alive, it's an organism, it's moving. What are your suggestions for someone to like take a breath and go, how do I get myself, I guess you can say brand myself or market myself, whatever the word might be. Any suggestions on someone young? Because I love how you move forward.
Yeah, 1000%, man. I always say, first, don't complicate it. You know what I mean? Like, I think we as musicians and artists, some of us, you know, I had a talk earlier and it was like, man, I can just keep working on my song forever. I'm like, at some point you got to stop, you know, at some point you got to realize that sometimes the most simplest thing that you can actually do is the greatest thing you can actually create. And I was blessed to do a song called Supersonic, right, by JJ Fad, which that song is a organism in itself because it never goes away. Like you go on TikTok, it's supersonic. You go over here, it's supersonic commercials, and it's always making money. And when I look back and laugh, I paid $400 to make that song, and I did that song in like an hour with a 808 drum machine and a Yamaha DX7. And I'm like, okay, so I've done that, but yet and still now I'm sitting in front of my computer. I've got 750,000 sounds, and I'm going click, 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 click. And I'm like, you know, at some point, you know, so I say to the younger generation, don't complicate it. Make a song that's fire and simple. And the second thing, remember, like you said, you are a brand now. You are Nestle's, you are Hershey's, you are Kentucky Fried Chicken, and you got to go out and market and promote yourself and make people think that you're finger licking good. And, you know, however you think that is, whether it's social media, whether it's going out and performing live, whatever it takes, you can't be that recluse artist unless you Prince. Prince got away with it. But nowadays, people want to see you. Or you can be a recluse artist, but you got to figure out that way to draw people in. So that's what I think.
You got to have a great story. There's got to be something of value people are going to get into, something that will hook their imaginations, whether you're there live or you're an animated character, whatever it is. It has to have a right story that keeps going, that keeps bringing you in, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, that's kind of my band that's been broken up and come back together, Jane's Addiction. We have our original bass player, and he's really the heart of songwriting for the band. It's an unusual songwriting formula, but it comes from the bass player. That's our story now. We can write new music all day long. The story is Eric is back. And now, you know what I mean? And now it's like, that's like, we have
Thank
purpose.
God. Like,
yeah,
thank God. It's amazing.
Yeah, we have purpose, you know, real purpose, because Eric and me are like the highway that everything else is like driving on.
The foundation, baby.
That's great advice, man. That's cool. And I know what you're saying, Scott. You got to have story. And what's the story behind it?
Right.
Yeah.
So I want to bring up, you did mention Prince. I grew up with Prince in Minneapolis and actually worked with him. And I noticed that you were originally called DJ Prince, and you used to dress like him.
Yeah, and thank God most of those photos aren't on the internet. There's one left. And I
looked for them and I couldn't find them. I wanted to bring one up, but I couldn't find anything. Those tight bell-bottom pants, right?
Well, no, I had, man, my pants were so tight back then. I was wearing those parachute pants with the zippers in them, and circulation. But hey, for me, it was to get the women back then. That's kind of what I was into it for.
It always comes back to that, right?
Yeah.
Always.
But I love Prince. That was my three inspirations.
Women, money, music. There you go.
And he was just saying he loved Prince. I want to hear what he says.
Yeah, so it's funny you mentioned that. And somebody else mentioned George Clinton as well. My three influences were Prince, Parliament Funkadelic, and Kraftwerk. Those three things you can hear in every last one of my songs. You know, I thought I was Prince. I really did.
That's a good trifecta right there.
I thought I was the P-Funk. You know, those things were me. And then I thought I was this German electro guy. So, you know, that's kind of what made my sound.
Trippy.
Yeah, you did that. You accomplished all of that, bro. Like that was that. I like, as you say it, I think about every, like the JJ Fad, the, you know, Bobby Jimmy and the Crickets, and you know, all of that stuff was had all of those elements in it.
Yeah.
And then it's taking all the stuff that you've done even musically, which is awesome, and then all the stuff visually too that you've done, you know, and combining the two, it's just amazing. Finding voices in both. You know?
Yeah, you gotta be creative.
And just think now, all I got to do is type it into a chat bot and say, "Give me my
better music than me."
So let's go there. Let's go there.
Yeah.
What's your thought on AI? We were having a talk about that a little bit earlier. Like, what's your sort of thoughts on AI at this point? It's a little scary to me personally.
Yeah, I was just over right before I got back here. I was over at Verizon. They have like an innovation lab, and you know, they got all this futuristic stuff. And we were talking about ChatGPT and AI. And, I'm right in the middle with it. Like, I understand, the Elon Musk and the grandfather of AI who just quit Google. Like, I'm out. Like, I'm sorry I did this. Like, it's going to be bad. Like, I get it, but we got to be responsible with it. And, I often say a computer is only scary when it's plugged in. You know what I mean? You can unplug it. So hopefully we don't get too stupid and let AI get embedded in some systems that we can't unplug. Because I think
I like what you're saying, but are we not too stupid to make?
Well,
is it too late?
We are. It's too late.
If Einstein didn't come up and help us make the bomb, someone else would have got the bomb first. So
there's too many evildoers out there.
You definitely have to know that it's going to get found, invented, discovered.
Yeah.
So you can't stop that. Harness it with the good people. Who are good people? We don't know, but we gotta somehow harness it together with unity, because it's us. It's not us against them. It's a partnership with AI.
Trust.
We can't be in defense offense. We have to somehow unite.
Yeah, our banking system depends on it.
No CBDC coin. No, zero, zip. No.
All right.
But I mean, if you start on an offense defense from day one, we'll lose.
Yeah.
Arabian Prince, I want to know, after you parted ways with N.W.A, your transition into the tech world, what was that path?
So here's the crazy thing.
It makes sense as a DJ, a producer, engineer. You gotta in advance. I'm like, there's something about it that makes sense. But yeah.
So 3D and everything too.
Yeah, I got to go back and give my boy Donovan, who's in the chat, another shout, because while we were working on music, me and him were like the nerds in the room, right? Because you needed I tell anybody, unless you were an amazing musician like you guys, like legitimate musicians. Like my mother was a classically trained pianist, so I learned piano, but I never really learned how to read music like that. I could see the notes, but I couldn't read and play, but I could create, right? So me and Donovan, while we were working on music, while everybody else would leave and go eat or go party, me and Donovan were looking at computer magazines because we were trying to figure out how to sync. Okay, so how do we take CV Gate and SMPTE and word clock and sync all those things together? Oh, you need a computer, you need a sequencer, you need all these things. And we would go to the computer fair back in like 1985 and 86 and literally be building computers back then. So, and for all the old people in the room, I had one of the first ever BBSs. I had a bulletin board up before there was the internet called the Game Syndicate. So I was deep in the computers like back then while I was in N.W.A, and the rest was kind of history from there. And how I got deeper into tech, I literally would go to computer shows. I would go to SIGGRAPH and all these different Comdex before it was, Comdex. You remember Comdex? I would go there before it was E3 and going to what's the one we just went to in January?
What was the one? It was Comdex. What was those other ones? It was
NAB. You were talking about NAB, probably, right?
Yeah,
NAB.
No, not even NAB. Yeah, my God, I'm brain dead today. But we go every single year, and it was one of those things where I got so deep into it, and while I was at SIGGRAPH, playing with computers, messing around with some animation stuff I had learned on 3D Studio Max or 3D Studio Release 1, somebody from Saban came up to me and said, "Hey, you're pretty good at that. Like, would you like to work on a project?" And I'm like, "Okay, like, I don't care." And next thing I know, he's like, "Yeah, we got this project coming up called the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers." Never heard of that. Okay, I'll work on it. And I ended up doing visual effects on Power Rangers, Silver Surfer, Addams Family, Casper, and a load other, movies and TV shows, and then moved into video games. So I was kind of doing both music and video games. And it was the funniest thing. I would drive to Saban and Fox, and I had just bought the brand new Acura NSX, what at the time was like $120,000. And I'm pulling up there, and all these starving animators are looking like, who's this guy? And there was no internet, so they didn't know I was this guy from a rap group. They just thought I was like some rich kid animator or something like that.
Right.
It was kind of funny.
Did you know Ron? Any
the
chance?
Who?
Ron Wasserman, he worked on that whole thing too.
The name sounds really familiar.
Wrote the theme to that, and then he was a bunch of those guys that were working with Saban. He had like a machine.
You know what? I think I did know those guys. I had to
Yeah.
sit down with them when we were working on the cartoon. Yeah.
Yeah, the other one was Lance Robbins. Do you remember him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did have to sit
Yeah.
down with those guys back then.
Dang.
Small world.
I know.
Now that you worked on that's the TV and the music. Which one's more cutthroat?
Yes.
Music is still more cutthroat. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, buddy. Music.
Ah.
Hey, I'm still trying to get paid.
Arabian, we got a question from Chris Cufaro, who is a legendary rock and roll photographer. Shot a lot of Jane's Addiction,
Oh, nice.
but he shot a lot of amazing artists.
And
He
a good friend of
literally
ours.
is just asking, "What's your first concert? What's the first concert you've ever been to?"
Okay, so I'm gonna go back to that. So check this out. I had crazy uncles and cousins, and my favorite uncle, who I kind of mimicked my whole life around, his name was Wayne James. We called him Hoggy. And he was that uncle, the cool uncle that used to be in gangs, and then he got cute and started having all the women. He had the Dodge Charger with the Hemi. He had the van with the tassels and the diamond in the window. So he had all of that. So I would hang out with him on the weekend, and moms never knew what I was doing when I was with him. Like crazy stuff happened. So one weekend, moms goes out of town.
I'm with Unc. It's all good.
It's all good.
Yeah.
They take me 1977 to the Forum to see Parliament Funkadelic.
Oh, fuck
And I'm probably high because there's everybody smoking weed in the audience.
Contact.
And all I remember seeing is the landing of the mothership. And I went, I want to do that.
Oh my
That's
God. Was that
awesome.
called Funk in Heaven?
Take Funk to Heaven in 77.
Yes.
Yeah, Funk in Heaven 77.
You know what? My first concert ever was also 1977 at the Forum.
Oh, wow.
And it was Kiss with Cheap Trick opening up for him.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
With Lord Swelk.
Yeah, exactly.
They had their own mothership.
Hey,
I think, I think,
Well, you know what? My first concert, I was 12 in 1980 at the Forum, was Queen. And I thought that's what I need to be as well. I need to be in a rock band that plays huge arenas. That was a dream. That's how you do a show.
That's
And
it.
I can still smell it and taste it and hear it and feel it. I mean,
yeah, I think
that's
mine was
no
Peter Frampton in Minneapolis.
Frampton
I
Comes Alive.
Yeah, and I was at the very last seat at the top, way up at the top, the last
A lot of that was recorded at the Forum also, by the way. It was recorded at a few places, but the Forum was where Frampton Comes Alive.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I was like 10 years old and just started playing guitar and went up and saw B.B. King and got to hang out with him backstage.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's
told
a
me-
great
That's
one.
deep.
He shook my hand and said, "Son, you got to play from the heart, play with feel, and stay off them drugs." That's what he told me.
Speaking of drugs, did you know Chico Brown and Freeway Ricky?
I knew Freeway Ricky. I didn't know Chico Brown. I knew of him, but I knew Freeway Ricky. I just saw Rick not too long ago.
So I don't know Rick, but I know Chico really well. Chico's a dear friend of mine, and we do a lot of nonprofit work together in
Nice. Very
Watson,
cool.
Compton.
Very cool. Love it. Love it. I was going to ask you a question really quick. So, what's your name again? From
Sheila?
Minneapolis.
Sheila.
Sheila. So you're from Minneapolis?
Yes.
Are you there now?
No.
Oh, okay. I was about to give you my address and have you shoot me over some Juicy Lucy's.
Oh my God. Well, I'm going to be there. You know what? I'm going to be there next week.
I
So
love
you
those
want
burgers.
some Juicy Lucy's?
Yeah, I love those.
I'll make
burgers.
sure you guys are connected.
Yes.
So we can get the Juicy Lucy's. I'm not sure we want to know what Juicy Lucy's are.
Tell them what
Okay.
it is.
You know, we'll make sure that you get them.
What's
I
a
will make sure. I will make sure.
No, tell them what it is.
What is it?
Wait. Let me, because a Lucy on the streets is a cigarette. A Juicy Lucy sounds like a sherm stick.
Oh,
now
no.
What is it?
No. So there's actually 2 bars in Minneapolis, and they fight over who actually created it. And it's a hamburger that's made in this weird contraption. I actually saw him make it. It's like a metal. It almost looks like something that you would make waffles in.
Yeah, it's like
they take a piece of meat, they put cheese in it, and they take another piece of meat and slam it on top, and then they smash it in this thing and it cooks it, and then put it on bread with nothing else. And they're
wait a sec. You want one of those shipped to you across the country?
Hell yeah, this suckers is good.
They got ways to do it.
Like crawfish.
You could do it overnight. Yeah, for sure.
People used to do that with White Castle.
Yes,
Yeah.
White Castle.
Right? Ship White Castles across the United States.
I'm from Detroit. We have more White Castles than we know what to do with. You can't even blink your eyes without looking at a White Castle wherever you go.
Our buddy, the trumpet player, Willie Waldman, wanted to ship a half pound of pork shoulder across the country from Memphis.
I'm ready to ship like about 400 pounds of crawfish from New Orleans to LA, and let's do a crawfish boil.
Let's go.
Let's do like a little event and have a crawfish boil. I'm putting it out there right now. We are doing that in the next month or 2, and there's going to be music. It's going to be a fun little event. We'll invite friends.
Like 7 years ago, I experienced that with you, like in.
Yes, we did that.
Something like that.
At Charlie Wooten's cousin Leah's house.
Yeah.
Culver City, we went and did that. Yeah.
Charlie Wooten. Oh my God. Well, maybe we could get Angelina to get us the seafood from New Orleans.
Getting the seafood, not an issue. I even got the guy that knows how to do the boil. It's we just need to do it. We need to plan.
Okay, and then I'll bring some Juicy Lucy's.
We're gonna plan it. Actually, the perfect backyard is Becky. Becky, I'm throwing you out there right now in front of everyone in the world. We're going to have a crawfish boil in your backyard. All right, there we go.
Oh my God. Okay, so we have another guest that has somebody named Marlon Montgomery. Speaking of rich kid animators, did you ever run into Chili T, aka Travis Knight?
Ooh, no. I know that's Phil Knight's son, but I never met him back then. No.
Okay, yeah, I guess he
I wish I had it because I have more free Nikes.
Yeah, right. So that was a shout out to Marlon who's watching. So there we go.
I mean, let's talk, because in a few minutes we're going to bring in our special musical guest tonight.
Nice.
Which is a special treat. Which is a special treat tonight.
I wanted to ask.
Go ahead, Kenny.
Well, one, musically, we definitely got to collaborate in all different aspects, even individual too. But what are you working on right now that you?
Oh yeah, let's get into that. So
yes,
besides all the music stuff, I'm actually working on a top secret EDM project. I've been DJing around the world doing a lot of EDM stuff, and I got this top secret EDM project coming. But what's really close to my heart right now is I'm the lead on this new $150 million diversity fund. So I'm really about, giving back in the inner cities. And I really think that it's time that a lot of these, struggling startups or, people, diverse people are getting the opportunities they need. So we're raising a $150 million fund to go out and kill it. Like, we're going to go just find all of the dopest stuff that no one wants to invest in, because what kills me about investing, everybody wants to go find that unicorn or go find that company that's going to make them $1 billion. I'm like, no, I want to take this company that's bootstrapping and making $50,000 a year or $25,000 a year, and all they need is a little capital to go from 25 grand to $1 million. Mm-hmm. And if I can do that 100 times, I've done something good in the world instead of looking for that unicorn.
And those people have a lot better ideas too, flowing. They just don't get a chance.
They don't get a chance. So that's
wow, I love this. So
are you focusing geographically on a specific region or any?
We're doing the whole U.S. The whole U.S. But I'm not scared to go in the inner cities and the rural communities and find out what's up. Like I had a meeting a while back with, believe it or not, John Deere, like the tractor company, because I found out. Matter of fact, me and Donovan were at CES in January. We're walking around and I'm like, what is that? There was a tractor the size of a 4-story building. It was just sitting in there. I guess it was they use for like in the big pits or whatever when they're mining. And I'm like, and then the whole thing was a computer. Like the thing literally will drive itself. And I'm like, you know what? Even in the rural communities or in when you deal with people who have farms, everything is technology driven now. So the future of our kids and young adults, they need to understand that it's not always about, being a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer. There's so many other ways to get into technology, to get into these kind of things and the stuff that you love. Like even if you want to be into basketball or football and you're not good enough or don't have that skill, there's so many jobs in all of these different verticals in technology. So we're just trying to exploit that and bring it out there.
So now, are you doing this on your own, or do you have partners in this? Like, how do we find out more about it?
So the project there's 2 names. My company's called Innovate Next and Innovate X. So we have Innovate Capital, which is going to be the lead on that, which is my company. And I have a couple of partners that's helped me bring it out. But the foundation itself, or the actual fund, is going to be called the Keep It 100 Fund, because we're going to keep it 100 and keep it real.
Awesome.
Instead of, I don't want to have no commercials talking about we invest in diversity and have a bunch of people walking in slow motion and then you never see the money actually going. So we want to do it right.
Wow, congratulations on that. That's amazing. That's awesome.
I love that.
Awesome.
I've been involved in philanthropy for the last probably 30 years. It's a big part of my life. So hats off to you, Norwood and I, and everyone in this group, along with Flea. We've been in the process for the last several years, but we're very, very close finally to actually opening up a free music school down in Watts. So,
oh, wow. Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah. Really cool.
So that's been an ongoing project that seems to be approaching the finish line. Hopefully.
Yay.
We got to bring Mr. OG in here to come with us, man. Help us.
Anything you need for that school, let me know. I'm connected with everybody. Like Cat Williams said, everybody. I'll bring everybody down there, get you more gear, get you more stuff. Let's make it happen.
100%.
That's great.
Yeah, we definitely got to collaborate.
Because we'd actually talked about it, because when we were in Dubai, they wanted us to play together. So Arabian put together a track, a bunch of sort of Floyd stuff that we did, kind of dance stuff, and we did it. It was fun. I'm just telling you, it would just be awesome to do with the 4 of us and him to do our show.
Oh yeah, that would change. That would bring a whole nother dimension to it. Absolutely.
Yeah, we've talked about it. Scott and I have talked about it, so it's such an honor to meet you. But
I love playing with tracks too. I mean, I used to do it. I've played with Jam Master Jay, Grandmaster Flash, DJ Hurricane. I've worked with all those guys through the years, and I love doing that.
Cool. Let's get it.
Festival circuit, right, for all these big headbanging freaking.
Because we did it in Budapest at the Azora Festival, the Psytrance Festival, and we did it with Daniel Gaudi, and that was a little bit more. Now we want to take it more, a different tempo, if you will, with the DJ transition in and out of the playlist.
Great.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sounds awesome. We're putting it out there. There it is. It's already out to the universe. Now it's going to happen.
So where do we, before we go to our musical guest, where do we find you? What should we tell our audience to come see you or check you out or do whatever? So give us the whole down low on that.
It's simple. Just look up OG Arabian Prince. You'll find me everywhere. Everything is just OG Arabian Prince. OG stands for old guy. So you can find me anywhere. I'm there hanging out. You know,
that's like a new definition of OG, by the way. I haven't heard that one. But,
no, we're not that old yet. We're still in our prime, kind of.
Exactly.
I'm not so sure.
Kenny, your
It's
beard.
a state of mind, Moss.
I'm like, I got a bunch of dudes in my crew with readers, man. Like,
Yeah. I mean,
I'm
you know what?
tell anybody that.
But it's inspiring, like Perkins.
Wait. Here we go. Hey. You get 3 for $10.99 on Amazon.
I have to go like this sometimes.
I mean, but like Perkins, you've been inspiring because all those clips of Perkins just rocking it out there. Because that's like, I mean, he's truly a chosen one, and his drums are his voice. And just saying that. But you and I being able to gauge, we're only like a month apart in age, so I'd be like, yeah, I got to get up there rock. It's been inspiring. You've had me out like walking and stuff. I'm like, I gotta keep up with you.
Hey, isn't Perkins a baby of our group? I think Perkins is our baby, right?
No, I'm a month younger. I'm
Oh, you're
November.
the
He's
baby.
September.
Kenny is the baby of the group.
I'm the youngest in my family, immediate family.
I'm glad to be considered the middle sibling of this group.
Yeah, you're in the middle.
I'm glad to be the middle sibling of this group. But
Well, you know, when we're hanging out with Scott Page, we can always ask, you know, because he's actually seen what it's like before the 60s hit and music changed. He was around, listen, he had musicians in the 50s around him, which the dynamic, I can't understand the difference of a drummer who didn't have to play with amplification. A drummer in the 50s played with upright bass players, piano players, and a drummer controlled the volume. In the 60s, people started plugging in and the drummer had to keep up with the volume, you know, and I can always pick on what Scott has heard when he tells me he likes the way it sounds or it doesn't. I know that he's got ears from the 50s, man.
and if you haven't picked up on it yet, we call Scott Papa in this group.
Right. Or the OG. Or the OG.
Norwood could run circles around people half his age. If they went out running with Norwood, he'd be like,
yeah, I wear them little bastards out, them little kids.
Yeah, you would.
That's why I used to tease my daughter and my nieces. I'd be like, y'all gonna bring somebody in my house acting crazy. Yeah. I'm gonna land a punch right. I'm gonna land one in their chest. They ain't gonna be able to breathe. And if they start running, he can't outrun me. He might run faster, but I'm gonna keep going. Mile 3, he gonna be looking back. Damn, that motherfucker's still coming.
They call you long haul. He's in it for the long
transition. Let's transition to Perk. So,
this is the
Wait. Before you do the setup, this is not our normal sort of musical guest. This is kind of something a little bit different. We're excited to all be together again, and we have some unique footage. So, Perk, go ahead and set us up.
Exclusive.
So in other words, we couldn't find a guest.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, but this is exclusive.
We couldn't find a guest. It's usually a new up-and-coming, you haven't heard about him yet type of guest. But this is the last piece of the tour. Our song is called 3 Days. It's a 15-minute song. And this is Jane's Addiction 5 days ago in Sydney, Australia. And the last song of the whole tour for us was 3 days. And this is going to be like a 4-minute piece of the guitar solo. Josh Klinghoffer just joined the band. So the band is very fresh. Eric Avery is back in the band, which gives it such an old, like, comfortable feeling. And then me and Perry, we never left each other. We're still together. So this is 3 days. And what you hear is my in-ear mix, my wedge, my monitor mix is what you're going to hear. And the footage is the drum tech, Mike, is holding the camera right above my hi-hat. So let's enjoy Jane's Addiction for the next 4 minutes. Yeah.
Epic.
Wow.
Wow.
That was
Yeah.
awesome.
Amazing.
That
Amazing.
was awesome.
That was living,
That was a-
breathing, rocking, and rolling.
It
Goddamn.
was.
And Mikey G, my God, that camera work was amazing.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
The best
right
part was
there.
Derek's
The
little head
extra eye
popping up
candy
there.
with the girls was extra.
Derek's
That
head
was,
popping up.
it was very.
Yeah, that was
there was
the
Perkins, and then there was
final-
Perkiness.
All
It was a lot of Perkiness and Perkins going on.
right. Okay. Let's I tell you,
He's
that
not
was,
looking at that.
That's a 15-minute song.
Highlights.
It's a 15-minute song. The first 4 minutes is a little ballad, and the next 3 or 4 minutes is a tribal story, and then it goes to this guitar solo. And every night we play it differently, and it's just a great band to be part of. I get to be exactly who I want to be on drums, and it's just a perfect fit. So
I mean,
thanks for letting me do that. Thanks for showing.
Thanks for
was
sharing
that was a 4-minute clip, and it caught me off guard at the end because I thought we were only like 2 minutes in. Literally, like I'm sitting there going, rocking out to it. No, that
That's a
was
good
cool,
one.
dude. We're so stoked for you and happy that things are going like you're living your best life right now, Perk, and it makes me happy as can be that you are.
Makes all of us happy. We
Yeah.
love it. Yeah.
And then we
I
have
just
we
wanna-
got somebody we can lean on when we need some money.
And Josh Klinghoffer and Troy from Queens of the Stone Age, everybody that's been so helpful, and we miss Dave Navarro. We want Dave back, but it's just been a really, really great, warm, growing together family. So that's what you got to hear. You got to hear family right there, people that really like each other.
Yeah.
So
Beautiful. And so speaking of like Dave and the record, like you guys are now gonna go do a record. Can you tell us anything about who's gonna be part of that?
It's just going to be quality, not quantity. And we're going to make great songs, and everybody that's involved, Dave and Josh and Troy and anybody that we can get our hands on, that can make the family whole again. But it really is a great thing that Eric Avery, the bass player, he brings, like a haiku, it's a few words and you don't change them. His bass lines are like haikus, he shows up with a poem on bass.
Dude.
And it is.
No, he's so rock solid. I felt he's like so centered and focused. It is brilliant.
Yeah.
And together y'all create such a tapestry of
foundation.
Like
so
shit
that's
to dance to.
But wait till you hear them after they add that freaking 10-minute saxophone solo. It's totally different.
Right. Well, you guys, it's that time.
All right.
We had a great show, Arabian. Such a pleasure to meet you. And
Yes.
have you on the show. And I have a feeling we're going to be working a lot together with.
Let's cause trouble.
Yes.
Hey, I got one last thing before we go.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I was talking to Dave about this off, earlier. We still trying to figure out how Scott keeps his hair so perfect. Like, I'm trying to figure this out. Like his hair is exactly the same way every time I see him. And I need to figure out what I need to put in here, make it like that. I'm working on it.
I mean,
he belongs to the hair club.
I love you, Scott.
I wish I had hair.
Right.
I wish I had hair like Scotty.
Scott, do you belong to the hair club for men? Is that your secret?
It is. You see the plug?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, and by the way, because I did get a little note too, Wayne said, well, ask Scott, I'm not with him, but where am I? So I'm supposed to ask you, where is Wayne?
Okay. Well, Well, she just came back from being in. She got to fly with the Padres and the whole team, and just went to did the whole thing in Mexico City.
Wow.
Right on.
To fly with all the players, the coaches, the whole thing. They went to Mexico City, two games with the Giants. They won, which was good. The Padres won. So the flight back was good. Everybody was happy. But yeah, that was like a pretty cool experience, to kind of go with.
On.
I didn't know she played
Amazing.
No,
baseball.
It's amazing, although we're Dodger fans, so I'm like, whatever.
I used
Oh,
to
that
be
hurts. That
my
hurts, baby.
neighbor Flo. She's one of the owners, and so that's how this all happened. So I'm
Go
now.
Wayne. Yes, go Wayne. That's awesome.
My Tigers are doing good too right now. So
All right, well, listen, go ahead, Sheila.
No, I'm just going to say again, thank you so much to Arabian for being on our show. Thank you to our special musical guest, Mr. Perkins and Jane's Addiction. And don't forget to like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, subscribe. Our next show is May 18th. So stay tuned and we'll see you next show.
You guys don't leave. Stay tuned. Hang on.
See you next time on the Rock and Talk Show Beyond Backstage with your hosts Norwood Fisher, Kenny Olson, Scott Page, Stephen Perkins, Sheila Conlon, and David Moss. Executive producers Sheila Conlon and David Moss. Producer and director Eric Lloyd. Assistant producer and creative director Mark Armentano. Editor Graham Cooper. Theme music by ThinkX. Powered by JBL and AKG. Artist Relations TPI Films. Special thanks to From the Earth, ThinkX, The Conlon Company, and Mac. Check us out on YouTube /The Rock and Talk Show, Facebook and Instagram at The Rock and Talk Show.
And we'll see you in